Even though every motorsports fans are pretty sad that the NASCAR Cup Series season IRL is pretty much over and done with, but thankfully though, it isn't quite done for us yet, as we start the second half here at Brooklyn, Michigan for the FireKeepers Casino 400 here at Michigan International Raceway for race number 9 of the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series. 50 laps that we're going to be racing here at Michigan International Speedway. What a crazy ending to the first half. We saw at Talladega Super Speedway where we saw the closest finish in NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series history against Daniel Hemrick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. at Talladega Super Speedway on the closing laps, as Daniel Hemrick with an amazing upset beat Ricky Stenhouse Jr. by 3/1000ths of a second. We'll hope to see another great race here today as we start the second half. And of course, the championship battle continues to get more intense and tighter as we get further on to the season. Truex Jr. currently finds himself as the points leader yet again after losing it after Bermuda Triangle Super Speedway, after having that dominant win at Charlotte, a great day at Kansas, but lost it at Bermuda Triangle after having a bad day. That win at Pocono though, and as well as a great day at Talladega, puts himself into a position that gets him back up top of the championship standings, ahead of Brad Keselowski by only 1 point. So it's been a pretty dead even battle between those two, but Kyle Busch, who is a third though, is still not far behind, as he is 11 to 12 points behind Truex Jr. So it's going to be an interesting battle here as we start the second half of the season. Now let's go ahead and look at your starting lineup here for the FireKeepers Casino 400 to see where your favorite drivers are going to be starting here at Michigan International Speedway. It's about time we see Bubba Wallace finally having a great qualifying position. He starts on the pole here today with Denny Hamlin, his boss, right there on the outside front row position, starting second. Logano is going to try to get back up to the points lead after losing it at Talladega. He starts third on row number 2 with Kyle Busch on the outside, who is third in the championship standings, closing in on this championship hunt. He starts on the outside of row number 2. An impressive qualifying lap for Michael McDowell as he is going to start inside the top 5 here today, and Tyler Reddick finally finds himself inside the top 10 in qualifying in row number 3. In row 4, starting 7, we see Tyler Larson, who finally got up into the top 15 in points after a great day at Talladega. Not so much for William Byron, though, in the 24, after going from 3rd in the standings all the way down to 11th in the standings after crashing out at Talladega Super Speedway. So he hopes to have a great day here today. He starts 8th alongside of his teammate. And rounding out the top 10, we see Truex Jr. in that very special Turning Point USA colors tribute paint scheme for Charlie Cook. And we see Alex Bowman in the number 48 with different colors this week, as he is not being sponsored by Ally this week. Instead, he is going to be sponsored by Starry. That's something you don't usually see every day, but he's going to be starting alongside of Truex, starting in 10th. And Ty Gibbs in the 54, we saw him drop back significantly in points as well after getting caught up in the same accident as William Byron. He starts 11th with Todd Gilliland starting alongside of him in 12th in row number 6. Impressive qualifying lap for Todd. But for Chris Buescher though, however, his streak of not getting to an accident came to a close at Talladega as he was involved in that accident. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. also close to get that win at Talladega. He starts 14th alongside of him in row number 7. In row 8, though, we see Brad Keselowski at number 6, 1 point behind Truex Jr. for the points lead, but he's starting pretty mid-pat, so he's got a little ways to go. And man, this season couldn't get any worse for Ross Chastain, as he flipped over once again at Talladega Super Speedway and now finds himself 32nd in the points with a possible chance of being eliminated early on. Thankfully, though, he does start 16th, so he's got a little bit of work to do, but if he can finish here inside the top 10, that could at least help him in points, so he starts in row number 8. And starting 17th in row 9, we see AJ Allmendinger in number 16 with a pretty decent qualifying position, as well as Josh Berry, who finally starts inside the top 20 as he's going to be driving the E-Road colors this week. He'll be starting alongside AJ Allmendinger in 18th in row number 9. And rounding up the top 20, we see Daniel Suarez, who is having a silent but solid season as he finds himself top 12 in points. And Shane Van Gisbergen, how about that? On an oval, he starts inside the top 20. But he is trying to make a comeback in points as he's trying to get him back inside the top 20 in points. So let's see how he does here today. He starts 20th. And for the second race in a row, we see car 21 starting 21st in row 11. Harrison Burton will drive the Jets Imaging colors this week, and how about Ryan Blaney starting 22nd in row number 11? May not be the worst qualifying position in the world, but this could affect him in points if he doesn't finish inside the top 20, because he is indeed top 10 in points. So let's see what he'll do today. In 23rd, we see a Busch Light Clash winner, Carson Hocevar, who still hasn't learned from Pocono Raceway yet, starts in row number 12, as well as the 14 of Chase Briscoe. It's not a terrible qualifying position for the 14, but he's seen worse in the first half because we know how brutal it was for Chase Briscoe in the first half. But we'll see what he does here today as he starts 24th. Austin Cinder's going to start 25th this afternoon in row number 13. And how about Christopher Bell in the 20? A driver that's currently in the top 10 in points, starting 26th. Let's hope that he can find himself up to the front later on today, because that would not be good for Christopher Bell in the 20. Same thing goes to Chase Elliott, as he's not starting pretty good either, as he starts 28th here today. And there he is again, Justin Allgaier and the number 40, the Bermuda Triangle race winner, making his third start here in the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series. He starts 29th alongside of him in row 14. Austin Dillon, though, isn't starting too well either, as he starts 29th here today, and the 41 of Ryan Preece starts alongside of him in the Mohawk Northeast Industry colors this week, rounds up the top 30. And no, that is not Martin Truex Jr.'s this clone. That is actually Ryan Truex, who is actually making his first start here today at Michigan International Raceway. I heard many rumors going on that Tricon may have actually confiscated one of Martin Truex Jr.'s windshields from Joe Gibbs Racing, so I don't know what to say about that. But probably because Joe Gibbs Racing and Tricon Garage has a little bit of beef going on right now, so maybe that would explain it, but I don't know. But Ryan Truex is going to make his first start here today. He starts 31st in row 16. And yikes, starting alongside of him, we see Eric Jones in the 43 with a terrible qualifying lap as he starts 32nd alongside of him. As well for the 7 of Justin Haley, as his collapse continues to get worse and worse as he starts 33rd here today in row 17. And yeah, there's Cody Ware in the 51, which he actually finished in the top 20 at Talladega a couple weeks ago. So who knows how long that's going to keep him from his seat and saving his season. But we'll see what he does here in Michigan. However, the major storyline coming into this week is that the 42 is not going to be driven by John Hunter Nemechek, as Nemechek is out for this race for the FireKeepers Casino 400 after he suffered concussion-like symptoms in a crash at Talladega, and he is going to be out of this race. Instead, the 42 is going to be driven by none other than Grant Enfinger himself. Grant Enfinger is going to get points awarded to the 42 team, and as well as John Hunter Nemechek, to hopefully maybe he can save himself from being eliminated early on, but it's going to be a very crucial task here as he does start 35th in this field. So we'll see how Grant does in his first start in the NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series, taking over the 42 of John Hunter Nemechek. And not so good qualifying position for Noah Gragson either, as he's going to be starting 36th in the Nitro Circus colors this week. Main focus right now is to try not to get in too much trouble. And the 62 is back, and Anthony Alfredo is going to make his first start here in the series since the Daytona 500, as he's going to be driving the 62 this week. And our most recent race winner at Talladega a couple weeks ago, Daniel Hemrick, rounding out the field, starting last. All Daniel Hemrick needs to do here today is at least try to get out of trouble here in this race, because he is now in the top 20 in points after that win at Talladega. So if he can stay out of trouble here today in Michigan, he could stay in the top 20 in points. So we'll see what he can do. And this is going to be a major surprise, but for the first time since the Daytona 500, nobody has DNQ'd from this race. Everyone in this field has made it in on time, as we only had 3 open cart drivers here in this field, and the number that we were originally playing for was 38. So that was enough for every driver to make it in on time. So there was no DNQs here for this race. First time ever that we had that happen since the Daytona 500. So we're just going to get right into it and get the engines fired to start today's FireKeepers Casino 400. Let's go trackside to get those engines fired here in Michigan.
Drivers, start your engine!
Well, as the engines fire here at Michigan International Raceway, as we get closer to start the FireKeepers Casino 400, see the pace car now starting to make his way over, and somebody's going out of line. I think that was the 16 of AJ Allmendinger I just saw. Yeah, it was AJ Allmendinger, way below the apron. I'm not sure what he is doing, but way down below the apron. I think he's having some sort of an issue right now with the 16. Oh yeah, I think something's going on with the 16 of AJ Allmendinger, because that thing doesn't sound right. So I think AJ Allmendinger is going to go down pit road here to see what that issue is, as everybody is coming out of turn number 4 right now. And we're about to get things started here at the FireKeepers Casino 400 here as the pace car is making his way down to turn number 4. AJ Allmendinger, yeah, he's still right there. He's going to go down pit road to see what that issue is. Pace car is now down pit road as we're about to get started here for the second half of the series. We are green here at Michigan International Raceway for the FireKeepers Casino 400, and Bubba Wallace leads the way. As Bubba Wallace leads the way, Joey Logano's already down into the bottom, already trying to take the lead away from the 23. And, folks, I unfortunately have no other choice but to come on here and say something that I really don't want to say, but it unfortunately affects my career as a commentator here in this series, as we see AJ Allmendinger in the 16 already making his service here. So he is now back on the track after looks like an early issue early on as the start of this race, but race fans, unfortunately, I'm not going to be the one that's going to be doing the play-by-play commentary here in this series anymore, and Sim Timmons is going to be taking you along the way for the rest of the season, because I have made several comments we've done about multiple other drivers live on air, especially the 77 of Carson Hocevar and the 77 team, and apparently I received one too many unsportsmanlike penalty calls, and I am apparently being ejected from this booth here for the remainder of the series. And apparently I thought I had the right to do whatever I want here on the booth, but apparently I don't have that right anymore, because now I'm currently being ejected from the booth and no longer going to be the play-by-play commentator here for this series anymore. And if I ever hurt a driver's feelings, or someone from either team's crew members, I can't tell you how much from the bottom of my heart about how very, very sorry I am. And it just sounds like to me that, a good majority of the 77 crew members have snitched on me and told me the truth about the comments that I made regarding about Carson Hocevar. So, to all of those people that I offended, I cannot tell you how sorry I am for saying those types of comments on the air. And, the slogan about how I say, I'm just here so I don't get fined, well, how the tables have definitely turned, for sure. And as you see right now, they are currently 4 wide for the lead right now, as Bubba Wallace retakes the lead once again here in Michigan. And once again, I apologize to the 77 team, as well as Carson Hocevar, and to everybody here in Racing Energy 12 Enterprises Productions. And I pride myself and think of myself as a man of faith. And and we got the 31 of Daniel Hemrick, our most recent winner, is upside down, sliding on its side, barrel rolling, coming down to turn number 3 and 4 down onto the pavement. And Daniel Hemrick, I guess he's just gonna drive away from it. Gets the car fired up again, and yeah, he's just gonna drive away from the accident scene like it was nothing. And well, I know somewhere up into a random ball field, Nick Castellanos probably scored a home run in a random ball field, and the 42, Grant Enfinger, is also involved, so that's going to be huge for Nemechek. And I don't know if I'm going to put on this headset again. I don't know if it's going to be for the Fastenal Cup Series. I don't know if it's going to be a project for Racing Energy 12 Enterprises Incorporated, but once again, I apologize to the camera crew, everybody at the 77 team, and to everybody that signed my paycheck. And I can't tell you how very, very sorry I am. And I beg for your forgiveness. And as we load up this replay here, Sim Timmons will take you the rest of the way home. Alright, well, thanks Tim Jimmins. We do appreciate the apology, as we wish you nothing but the best on the future as we look at this replay with the 31, Daniel Hemrick, our most recent race winner, tumbling down turn number 3 down the pavement, somehow getting the thing rolling again. And honestly, that's kind of very impressive that he was able to get that thing rolling back again after he just pulled a Zane Smith at Kansas and pulled a Tyler Reddick at Las Vegas by driving away from the flip. And we got another angle of this accident here, as Grant Enfinger looks like just got hurt around by the 62 of Anthony Alfredo. I don't know if it was a misjudgment timing or what, but yeah, the 42 of Grant Enfinger, I believe either he tried to get in front of the 62 of Anthony Alfredo, or Alfredo just tried to get into Enfinger's lane and just misjudged the timing. But this is a wild sight to see here, as the 31, Daniel Hemrick, riding along the wall like what we saw earlier at Kansas with John Nemechek in the 42. And you see the car starts to tumble down. Slow motion camera here as it goes over a couple of times. I know somebody's probably counting right now as it's very wild to see. Lap number 4, and we already see an accident taking place with somebody tumbling over. And really a bad case scenario for the 31 of Daniel Hemrick, who just recently won the Yellowwood 500 not that long ago. It was the most recent race, and now we see Daniel Hemrick already tumbling down. A bad start for the 31 of Daniel Hemrick as he goes back on the wheels and apparently drives away from the accident scene after flipping over at least 4 to 5 times down the pavement in turn number 3 and gets the thing fired back up and goes to the pit road. Another perspective of the accident as it comes from our chopper cam, and you see the cars. It's just a very small pack right there, and looks like the 62 to me just obviously misjudged the timing, collects the 42 of Enfinger, and the 31 goes up sliding on its side and then goes for a, to me, a bizarre flip down the pavement in turn 3 as he gets the thing going again. So that really wasn't my ideal, especially for your first gig here in the booth. It's after taking over for Tim Jimmins after he was let go from the team, as we ride along with Grant Enfinger. Look at that 31 Daniel Hemrick. You can see him right in the windshield as he rides up on its side against the wall. Just a terrible start for Grant Enfinger's debut as he takes over for the 42, obviously out with concussion-like symptoms after a crash at Talladega. And as you can see right here, it looks like he's mowing the grass here a little bit here, which it kind of gives the people that's in charge of the lawn a good break, because the temperature is well below 50 degrees, and that's not an ideal temperature choice to go out and mow lawn. So I guess Grant Enfinger just getting himself a little bit of work there. And looks like next up here we're going to be riding along with Daniel. And you see Daniel Hemrick clear a racetrack right in front of him until out of nowhere Grant Enfinger gets turned right beside of him, and there he goes. Really nothing that he could have done there differently. It just came out of nowhere. And look at this ride right here from Daniel Hemrick. Somehow, in some way, the camera is staying intact and it's staying online. And obviously still impressive that he was able to get that thing rolling again. And wow, things are already picking up fast, as on lap number 4 of the FireKeepers Casino 400, we are already under our first caution of the day with Daniel Hemrick, our most recent race winner at Talladega Super Speedway, to flipping over on lap 4 at Michigan after Grant Enfinger gets hooked around by the 62 of Anthony Alfredo, collecting what looks like to me was the 51 of Cody Ware, as the 31 goes for a wild tumble down the pavement in turns number 3. Lap 4, and our first caution is out here at Michigan for the FireKeepers Casino 400. We'll be right back for the restart after this quick commercial break. Welcome back to Michigan International Raceway as they're about to take the restart here after Daniel Hemrick, who tumbled down turns number 3 on lap 4. It is reported to be done for today's event. They are not going to be allowing that 31 to drive back into this race, so they have decided to park the 31. I don't know what reason for, but we're back on the green now. Kyle Larson is now our current race leader right now, as he was the leader right before the caution came out. So Kyle Larson is currently leading. Joey Logano and Bubba Wallace are currently second and third. Joey Logano's trying to make a move right there on the bottom. Danny Hamlin trying to make it 3 wide for the lead. And once again, guys, remember, Tim Jimmins is not the play-by-play commentator, so it's going to be me that's going to be commentating now. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing here. So sorry if it wasn't energetic in the first half, because obviously I have no idea about what to do with this commentating thing. This is really my first ever professional play-by-play commentary here for the Fastenal Cup Series. So I'm going to try my best here to entertain you guys, even though I'm not a professional at play-by-play commentary. But now you see Danny Hamlin taking the lead now. There were 4 wide there temporarily for the lead, but here comes the 24, William Byron, now making a move right there, trying to take the lead away from Danny Hamlin, but he's getting challenged right now by the 34, Michael McDowell. And very impressive to see Michael McDowell up here. It's also a pretty much needed day for the 34 as well, because right now Michael McDowell is currently 25th in the points right now, 79 points behind our current point leader, Truex Jr. And Michael McDowell is currently in the mix of this, as now we're about to see 3 wide for the lead right now as Tyler Reddick tries to make a move right there on the bottom. As you see these guys rolling past you as they enter in turn number 1. Here comes Tyler Reddick now trying to make a move Tyler Reddick, he needs something here to go his way if he wants to at least make it back up to the points. Currently 28th in the point standings right now, so obviously a little worse than Michael McDowell currently right now in the 34. So if the 34 and the 45 can at least have great days here today, they could at least jump up into the points significantly. So as long as they stay clean and stay out front on here, we can very see the 34 and the 45 at least make a jump in the points. Right now, Denny Hamlin currently is the leader right now, but Tyler Reddick is still trying to give him pressure. And you see the 8 of Kyle Busch also, who's trying to at least try to make it 3 wide. He is trying to make his way up to the front here. And obviously, Kyle Busch is having a great swing of finishes after having a terrible first 2 races of the season. He's currently 9 points behind championship leader Truex Jr. So Tim Jimmins got another one wrong. Apparently he doesn't know how to do math either. But now you see Tyler Reddick slightly ahead of the 11 of Denny Hamlin. Not quite clear ahead for the lead yet, as you see these guys going past pit road and as they complete lap 12 here today. And obviously, this pack has not broken away just yet. It is still a very tight battle right now for the lead right now, as Joey Logano, as you see right there in the picture, trying to make his way back up to the front as they are 4 wide for the back. This is for second place. That's for the 8, the 23, the 24, and the 11. Kyle Busch made it 4 wide just a bit right there temporarily, and he's going to try to do it again. And oh, we got lap traffic coming into play. That's Grant Enfinger. Oh, and he gets right into the pathway of the 24, William Byron. Everybody else was able to negotiate through. Not so much for the 24, though, as the 42 is dropping like a rock. Grant Enfinger, I don't know how that thing is meeting minimum speed, because he was involved in that lap 4 accident, and somehow, someway, he's still out here right now. But, yeah, honestly, I'm really surprised that car is meeting minimum speed. So that really caused some of the leaders to fall back, and that helped the 8 of Kyle Busch out for sure, as he is currently our race leader, trying to look for his first win in the Fastenal Cup Series. But how about Alex Bowman and Truex Jr.? That helped him out as well, because now they're both running second and third right now. But Bubba Wallace trying to change that picture now as he's getting a push from Michael McDowell right there. We haven't even talked about Truex Jr. yet, and he is currently our points leader right now. He is currently on a roll right now. Despite the bad finish at Bermuda Triangle, Truex Jr. has been pretty good this season. As you see, Bubba Wallace now in the 23, trying to make a pass right now for second right now, but now he's really being under pressure by several other drivers as they are 4 wide, super tight coming down the back stretch. And the 19 and the 45 almost made contact. But meanwhile, we see Bubba Wallace officially take second place now, as Kyle Busch and Bubba Wallace now running 1 and 2 right now. Bubba Wallace needs a great day here today, especially after the terrible finishes that he's been having recently, especially with the qualifying results that he's had. The good thing is that he has won the pole here today, so he's going to get an extra point for that. But Bubba Wallace is currently 31st right now in the points, and that is not ideal that you usually see from the 23 bunch. So whatever Bubba Wallace has here today, it would definitely be great for Bubba Wallace, because if he could finish inside the top 10, that is definitely going to be a great points-paying race for Bubba Wallace in the 23. But right now, he is really being under pressure, as they are 4 wide and they are super tight, bunched up with one another. Definitely not a position you want to be in, especially if you are trying to get back up in points. Thankfully, it looks like everybody's going to keep it straight as everybody maintains position, as Joey Logano once again trying to add his name into the mix. These guys has just been bunched up since the restart here. These guys have not been able to break away, as we now see, I think that's Denny Hamlin in the 11 that takes the lead, with Kyle Larson right behind him in second. And also the package, I think, that I've heard from Tim Pockets, that they're actually using the same package that they've used at Charlotte and Talladega, which is why we're seeing pad racing here in Michigan. And for these previous couple of races, we've seen the exact same package being used in that race as well. And you see Ty Gibbs way below down the apron there. But Joey Logano now trying to add his name into the mix. He is now trying to take the lead away, as we see Ty Gibbs. He was the one that's trying to make the move right there on the bottom, as we got more lap traffic coming into play now. That's the 51 and looks like the 62. Both of them were caught up in that lap 4 incident. Here they come approaching lap traffic. It looks like Kyle Larson, the race leader, is going to get through. Not so much for the other 3 lanes, as Bubba Wallace, Logano, and Hamlin, and others get stuck behind the 2 cars, as Kyle Larson is able to break away with Alex Bowman in second as we complete lap 18. About Shane Van Gisbergen also in the 3rd place position. We don't usually see him run that well here in these ovals. but it will definitely be much needed for Shane Van Gisbergen, especially after having a collapse after winning at Sonoma. And I don't know if they were approaching lap traffic. The camera cut away from it, but I believe they're approaching lap traffic again. Yes, they are. I believe that was Ryan Preece in the 41. I believe that they were approaching. But yikes, look at this pad right here. Several close calls right there as we saw the 20 and the 21 nearly making contact right there. And now Alex Bowman is now leading this race right now. And Alex Bowman, he really needs to have things go his way because ever since winning the Daytona 500, it just looks like nothing has gone in Alex Bowman's way. And she's having a major collapse in points. But Shane Van Gisbergen, how about that? Second place right now, but Kyle Busch wants that second place spot. Now he battles Shane Van Gisbergen for second place after Kyle Busch, he's getting a push by the 23 of Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace trying to get back up into the lead. And it really just has been a spectacular 6 races for the 8 of Kyle Busch, who started in this series below the top 30 in points, and already he finds himself third in the standings right now after securing 3 straight top 10 finishes before it came to an end at Talladega a couple weeks ago. And that's what really brought him back up into the point standings, as that's why he's in third right now. Bubba Wallace, however, really needs to have a great day. Obviously, as we mentioned, 31st in the points. He's really trying to sneak into the lead way up high as well. It didn't look like there was any room right there, but thankfully, though, they were able to pull away, and Tyler Reddick once again takes the lead. Truex Jr. all of a sudden finds himself in the second place position. Is going to be more points awarded for Truex, and if he can stay in front of the 6 and the 8, he's going to keep that championship, and it's going to extend it just a little bit. And obviously, we haven't seen Brad Keselowski a little bit at all. He is in this pad. There he is right there. So the top 3 in points right now currently is in this pad right now as Kyle Larson takes the lead away again. But very, very tight race right there as you see 19 and the 5. I'm not sure if they make contact right there, but these guys really like going 3 to 4 wide here in these turns as we see Kyle Larson and Michael McDowell battling along for the lead right now. Michael McDowell finally finds himself back up to the front after falling back just a little bit because of lap traffic. But Tyler Reddick really trying to get a run as Denny Hamlin, as you see right there, they're rolling across the screen. The ticker was kind of in the way, so I apologize for the inconvenience. I'm not going to be like that guy that makes fun of the camera crew. So don't worry, guys. You guys can continue to do your thing. I'm not going to make fun of you this time. And I'll make sure you guys get your paycheck that you guys have been waiting for, because I know that guy was hiding it somewhere. It's somewhere here in the booth, but I'll make sure to find it later on in this race. But yeah, here comes Joey Logano in the number 22, now trying to make the move for the lead right now. Joey Logano, as a matter of fact, actually came into Talladega as the points leader, but didn't really have a spectacular day, so he fell back in points just a little bit, but not too much, though. But he did fell from the championship lead all the way down to 5th, but he's still in the top 5 in points, so I wouldn't say it's all a gloom and doom situation for the 22. But here comes the 19 of Truex Jr. trying to add more points into his championship lead as he makes it 3 wide down to the bottom for the lead. We've been seeing that a lot this afternoon. A lot of guys going 3 wide for the potential lead. Oh, and we got some more lap traffic coming into play. I don't know exactly who that is. I can't really pinpoint who it is. I believe it's Grant Enfinger again on the 42, and he's going to hold up the top side. But it looks like, for the most part, everybody's going to negotiate through. But, man, that 42 has been scaring a lot of people today because obviously they think that they're going to cover LePage the field, but obviously, Michael McDowell is going to fall back again, including the 8 and the 48, and I believe the 5 is also falling back a little bit as well. So yeah, those guys find themselves in a precarious situation, but we'll see how quickly they can come back up to the front because a lot of guys have been having a lot of runs to get back up to the front as we see the 19 of Truex now falls back down to 4th after having that wild moment with the lap car. We see Tyler Reddick now currently leading right now, and I think that was William Byron that's going down low. Yes, it is. 3 wide once again for the lead. Joey Logano is up top. William Byron also down below, but look out for the 19 of Truex Jr. because he is red hot so far. He is really trying to go for his 3rd win in the series right now. He's the only driver that has multiple wins out of everybody in the bunch right now currently, but William Byron in the 24, there he's trying to look for his first win. A lot of guys are looking for their first win right now, including the 45, the 23, and the 22, including the 11 right there on the bottom. But look who's in this pack as well. The Bermuda Triangle winner, believe it or not, Justin Allgaier, somehow find himself back up to the front here. Man, wouldn't that be crazy if Justin Allgaier can somehow find his way to steal another upset victory, this time being in Michigan. He is right now currently in this pad right now, currently listed in the top 10. So what a spectacular season that 40 car has been having recently. But right now, back out front, the pole sitter, Bubba Wallace, finds himself back up to the lead with William Byron, who gave him a big push. Now he's being under pressure by the 11 of Denny Hamlin. We've seen Denny Hamlin and Bubba Wallace really going after one another so far here in this race. And let's hope they don't pull a Kansas situation like what they did IRL. And let's try to keep the peace now between 2311 Racing and Denny Hamlin. I'm sure 2311 and Michael Jordan doesn't want that situation again. But now, here comes the 24, William Byron down in the middle, trying once again to retake the lead. Just had spectacular racing since the start of this race, as they're once again trying to go 4 wide once again for the lead. Tyler Reddick is not done quite yet, as he is really trying to get back up front to the lead, and it's really tight right now, and looks like they're able to once again continue to move forward as they make it past turn 4 once again. As we are approaching 20 laps to go here at the FireKeepers Casino 400, still once again 4 wide this time for second. And wow, I believe they were temporarily 5 wide right there for a second, as you saw right there on the corner of the screen. This is like an IndyCar race at Michigan in disguise, because this amount of racing has just been incredible as we are approaching lap traffic again. It's the 51 and the 62 once again. And let's see how they're going to get through this time. 45 goes down low, and I believe he's going to get through it this time. Most of the leaders is able to negotiate through this time. Not so much for the top side, though, as they're once again blocked by lap traffic. And we got some leaders coming into pit road now. This is exactly what I was just about to talk about, that this is the lap period that we should see some pit stops taking place. Looks like we're about to have green flag pit stops right now with 21 laps to go here at the FireKeepers Casino 400. Truex Jr. leads the way with Ty Gibbs, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Brad Keselowski right there behind him. Now we should see where the rest of the leaders is going to take their pit stops, because of course this is exactly when we should expect everybody to take their pit stops here for green flag pit stops. And oh my goodness, look out, the 5 of Kyle Larson with a great save right there. That could have been disastrous for the 5 of Kyle Larson, and it does look like we got some more drivers coming down pit road. Here they come now, the 45, the 8, the 40, the 20, and the 11 all coming down pit road. And I believe Bubba Wallace is also in this pack as well. But boy, that was a near disastrous for the 5 of Kyle Larson, as I believe he was trying to go down pit road, but the 42 of Grant Enfinger, they once again lapped him once again. So I believe that's going to be his 3rd or 4th lap down right now. And yeah, he just missed his pit stop. And no, the 23 Bubba Wallace is actually up here right now. And right now, this is the current battle for the lead right now. The 23 and the 5. Oh no, the 24 was up to the lead. But now those 2 guys is going to go down pit road. Kyle Larson is going to stay out and try to lead some laps here to get points. But we'll see how long Kyle Larson is going to stay out for, as some of these guys are going down pit road right now. The 24 and the 23. I can see the 9 of Chase Elliott. We haven't even talked about Chase Elliott all day. He is in pit road right now, as the 24 and the 23 makes their way towards the pit stops right now. And there is Kyle Larson, our current race leader right now, who decided to stay out. Right there, there's the 45 of Tyler Reddick. And I believe when this is all sorted out, I believe the 45 is going to be our race leader when this is all said and done. And I'm not sure if the 5 of Kyle Larson will come in this time. Yes, he will. The 5 of Kyle Larson is going to come down this time by. Our current race leader is one of the only drivers that has still not yet pitted here, as everybody else did a couple laps ago. So we'll see how they turn out here for the 5 of Kyle Larson, as he's slowly but surely making his way towards his pit stop. So we'll see how it progresses here. We've seen IRL great pit stops by the 5 of Kyle Larson, so we'll see how it does here as he takes his pit stop right now. And it's kind of bizarre knowing that this is race number 8 of the series, and we've only had 2 races where we've actually seen green flag pit stops take place. And that's weird, because half of the time that they took pit stops, it was either during the caution period after an incident, and we haven't even seen a lot of green flag pit stops really take place here. And now you see the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who was actually a lap down when Kyle Larson took his pit stop here. So he's not currently listed as the leader right now. I believe the ticker is a little bit behind, because some people are saying that the 45 of Tyler Reddick is actually leading right now. So we'll see what happens here as they come around turn number 3 and 4. Looks like Truex Jr. and there's William Byron right there. Believe we'll be running inside the top 3 after this whole pit stops would take place. Kyle Busch should be listed in 4th, and I believe Shane Van Gisbergen should be listed in 5th. As they pass the start-finish line, we'll see what the ticker says. Yeah, actually, Ty Gibbs is actually listed in the 5th place position. Haven't even talked about Ty Gibbs a lot here today. For now, after that cycle of green flag pit stops, we see the field sort of separated right here, but there's actually some lap traffic that they're currently behind right now, as the leaders right now currently making their way past lap traffic. And this time around, the field is not actually bundled up together like what we saw previous laps ago. And Truex Jr. And Tyler Reddick stuck behind a lap car, so that's going to help Byron, Busch, and Gibbs get front of them, as William Byron now currently as the leader, but Kyle Busch currently looking for more right now. And my goodness, and here comes the 5 of Kyle Larson. Where in the world did he come from? A big run down there in the bottom, trying to get second now, as there are 3 right now for second. Kyle Busch now currently as the race leader right now, but Kyle Larson right now looks like has a big run right there in the bottom. So right now it's going to be a Kyle and Kyle show for the lead. And yeah, it's William Byron driving like a rock, falls down the 5th and possibly 6th right now, as Tyler Reddick is giving him pressure. Here comes the 19 of Truex Jr. right there under the bottom side, and now the field is trying to once again form another pack here as they complete lap 35 here. We are already halfway done throughout this race. And we got 15 laps to go here at the FireKeepers Casino 400. Kyle Busch now under challenge by the 5 of Kyle Larson, looking for the lead. Both of these guys are still looking for their first win. The only driver here that has won a race here is the 19 of Truex Jr. In fact, he's won twice already here. And Shane Van Gisbergen, our Sonoma winner, looking for his second win of the season. So a good majority of these guys here in this pack has not won yet here in the Fastenal Series yet. But we'll see if these guys can hold on, as the 24 William Byron right there onto the bottom, looking to see if he can get in front of the 8 of Kyle Busch. That 24 William Byron has been mad fast. And we got some more lap traffic coming into play, and it's Grant Enfinger in the 42 once again. That car has just been badly beaten up in that lap 4 accident. Let's see how they play out here. Looks like almost all the leaders is going to be able to negotiate through, and they did. This time they were able to get through with ease. But not for the 56 of Ryan Truex. There they go down the back stretch. The 43 of Eric Jones sliding down to the apron, trying to avoid the inside wall, and he does. He's able to get it rolling again. Second caution of the day comes out on lap 37 here at the FireKeepers Casino 400, with the 56 of Ryan Truex also caught up involved. The 42 of Grant Enfinger once again caught up in another accident. This is the second incident for him today. Just been a bad day for the 42 of Grant Enfinger. And now that puts the season for the 42 team now in jeopardy, because remember, the 42 is actually dead last among all full-time drivers, and he could very well be eliminated from championship contention very early on in the series on just race 8. Just a worst-case scenario for the 42 team, as it could not get any worse for the 42 at all this year. And we're going to take a look at this replay here. Just another case of a misjudgment timing. We've seen that on lap 4 with the 42 and the 62. I believe that the 42 was trying to get in front of the 56 to try to keep up with the pack, but I personally believe that was not going to look. And look out, 38 of Todd Gilliland almost made contact with the 56 of Ryan Truex there. Thankfully, though, the 38 was able to check up in time to avoid any more damage to the 56 of Ryan Truex there. As you see, Eric Jones really couldn't do anything to try to avoid the accident. I thought he was home free from the accident scene, but unfortunately the 42 got in front of the 43, and it's really nothing that Eric Jones could have done differently to avoid that accident. And we take a look from the chopper cam once again. You see the 42. You can tell the difference about how fast and slow these guys have been going, and I'm not sure about that, honestly. I mean, looked like just a same situation like what we happened on lap 4. I'm sure the other commentator will say that the 42 did something a little bit wrong there. I'm not going to say the word, because this is my first day on the job, and I literally just got hired out of nowhere. So I'm literally not going to say anything too controversial here, because I want to see if I can last longer than he did. But you see the big slide by the 43 of Eric Jones right down onto the apron. Surprisingly enough, that did not collect more drivers than, I'm pretty sure most fans would have been afraid of, because knowing about how brutal this series has been from the accidents, we literally got pretty lucky that this wreck wasn't as bad as we expected it to be. But still a multi-car accident once again on the bad stretch on lap 37 here, as we ride along with Eric Jones here. And see, he was He thought he was home free right there. He was trying to avoid, making contact with the 56 and the 42 because it looked like Erik Jones to me saw the accident coming and he was trying to avoid the action. But the 42 with the force of the 56 pushed him back in front of his lane, and that's what caused the 43 to get involved in the accident as we saw the 43 mowing the grass a little bit there. Our second caution of the day here takes place here on lap 37 here at the FireKeepers Casino 400, including 3 drivers, Grant Enfinger, Ryan Truex, and Erik Jones spinning down the backstretch. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back for another restart here in Michigan. What you're looking at right now is a view from the rear of our pace car that we are showcasing for the very first time. It actually took us this long for them to finally get a camera behind the pace car so we can have a little glance from behind the pace car now as we finally have a camera right in the rear of the pace car as is now making his way down pit road as we're about to restart here with less than 10 laps to go here at the FireKeepers Casino 400. Kyle Busch currently as your race leader, Kyle Larson in second. And as we restart here, we had a big moment under caution as one of our championship drivers, the 14 of Chase Briscoe, blew up under caution. The engine failed out and there was smoke coming out from the rear of that car, and Chase Briscoe, with an apparent engine failure, is done for today's event. We haven't even seen Chase Briscoe all day today, and Chase Briscoe's day abruptly comes to an end, and this is going to be huge for Chase Briscoe knowing that he had a great string of top 15 finishes throughout these past couple of races, and now that's going to be coming to an end as Chase Briscoe's day abruptly comes to an end after an engine failure, and now we see Kyle Busch falling back a little bit like a rock here, but thankfully not too much though, as we see the 45 of Tyler Reddick once again taking the lead. We still got a long way to go before the end of this race as Kyle Larson still not cleared away. He is still right next to Tyler Reddick, and the 45 is now side by side right now. Kyle Larson really doesn't have that much help, and yeah, he's going to fall back just a little bit, but thankfully though he's not going to drop back a whole bunch because Truex Jr. was right there in that line. But here comes William Byron in the number 24. Man, we've just been seeing multiple lead changes from start to finish, and now we see Bubba Wallace, our pole sitter, now trying to make a move to the outside as we now have 7 laps to go here at the FireKeepers Casino 400. 3 wide right now temporarily for the lead. Here comes Bubba Wallace with a great run down under the bottom with a push from Joey Logano. A lot of these guys looking for their first win of the season. Shane Van Gisbergen, Truex Jr., who is up in this pack, already has wins. So a good majority of this field are just as hungry to get their first win of the series and saving their season. As they exit out of turn 4, Bubba Wallace clears the way, but the 24 William Byron is still right there trying to make a move right there on the bottom. Joey Logano, they are once again going to try to go 3, maybe 4 wide for the lead once again temporarily. Once again, it's just been exciting racing, and it is racing like it's the last lap. Look at this, they're almost 5 wide right there. They're literally trying to form a 5th lane, and I don't know if that works here in Michigan, but man, I'll tell you what, man, this package is incredible, and I'm pretty sure every single fan loves it, and I really wish we would have had that in real life, as Joey Logano out of nowhere now takes the lead now. And we are approaching 5 laps to go here at Michigan. Bubba Wallace now trying to make another pass for the lead. Man, this is going to get intense as we got a couple of miles to go here in Michigan. William Byron giving Bubba Wallace a push. Joey Logano giving a big push from Tyler Reddick. Still, a lot of drivers are still in the hunt for this. As you still got McDowell, Larson, Busch, Hamlin, Truex, yet even Ty Gibbs is in this field, and I think I just saw another lap traffic they're about to approach, and I think it may be the 42 of Grant Enfinger again. Yes, it is, because you can see right there, it's a white car. And what other driver drives the white car than the 42? Oh, and right in front of William Byron, he's going to drop like a rock. And that will help the 23 of Bubba Wallace and the 34 of Michael McDowell. The 19 of Truex Jr. I think is also right there as well. I think he was able to get it through. And the 8 of Kyle Busch is also in this pack as well. Despite being separated, this race is not over yet, as here comes the 34 of Michael McDowell. giving a big push from the 8 Carl Busch. Now the 45 of Tyler Reddick goes down low. That is going to affect the 23 of Bubba Wallace. He's going to fall back like a rock as he has nobody up into the top side. Michael McDowell now leads the way here in Michigan as we approach 3 laps to go here in Michigan. Tyler Reddick now looking for second place and maybe even more as he is looking to try to see if he can take the lead away and potentially the win to keep his season alive. The 34, Michael McDowell, also doing the same thing as well. It's going to be great points-paying race for the 34 and the 45 if they can at least make it all the way to the end. But here comes the 22 of Joey Logano once again, just as hungry to get his first win here at the series. Now he's made some move right there into the bottom. Also in this mix, the 19 of Truex Jr. is also in this mix, looking for win number 3 here at the Fastenal Cup Series, as well as our championship points leader. Now we'll see if the 19 of Truex can do anything as the 8 of Kyle Busch, who is 9 points behind Truex currently right now, trying to make a move for second place as we got 2 laps to go here in Michigan. 4 miles left to go here for the FireKeepers Casino. 400, and it's been a race for nutrition as the 22 now leads the way, the 19 not far behind, the 8 and the 11 right there on the bottom side, and oh boy, Justin Allgaier is in this field. If he could somehow pull another one, that would be incredible for the 40 team. But Joey Logano, however, leads them down turn number 4 as they approach the white flag here in Michigan. How will things play out here as we approach the white flag here in Michigan? 1 lap to go, 2 miles left around this racetrack. Here comes Kyle Busch right there into the bottom, looking for his very first win in the series, hoping to give Rowdy Nation a little bit of hope here, but now he's being challenged by the 34 of Michael McDowell right there as they are side by side right now as we light along with Kyle Busch as they head down the backstretch for the final time. Now, with a major run, the 45 and the 34 putting the 8 a lot of pressure. The 11 is giving the 34 a push. The 23 is giving the 45 a push. The 22 is giving the 8 a push as they come across the front straightaway for the final time. As they come across the stripe, they are side by side. Who is it gonna be? I believe it was Tyler Reddick. It still could have been McDowell. And I believe it's shown on the leaderboard. Tyler Reddick beat Michael McDowell by... Wait. Hold on a sec. Wait, am I seeing this correctly? No. Up on the leaderboard, it's saying that Tyler Reddick and Michael McDowell tied across the line.
0.000. Seriously, 0.0000.
Whoa, guys, this is going to be a while before we sort this one out. I believe everybody is confused because I'm not sure if we're seeing this correctly. They freaking tied. They literally just tied across the line, and I'm not sure if that's actually correct, but oh my word, I bet everybody is confused as I am because this is literally my first day on the job. If we get this, oh my goodness, guys, it might actually happen. I believe we just got a tie here in Michigan. I'm speechless. I really am. I didn't think we would actually beat Talladega because Talladega a couple weeks ago was close enough already that it already is. I think we just got something closer than that, and I think we just got a Kansas 2024 moment. Alright, let's take a look back here and take a look at this replay. This is them coming across the white flag. Look at Tyler Reddick all the way up to the 3rd place position. Dude, this race has been phenomenal from start to finish, as we saw. Fantastic racing from start to finish. Every single lap we've seen multiple amounts of 3 to 4 wide racing. And obviously this is them coming out of turn 2 to the backstretch. McDowell is giving Kyle Busch, he's challenging him for the lead. But the 45 with a big push from his teammates. I'm still at a loss for words because I don't think that was actually correct. Like, we hardly ever see, like, you know, photo finishes in these types of games, but a tie? I don't think we've ever seen a tie at all in an NR 2003 offline series. But here they come, as they come across the line. That was just way too close to call, especially from that angle. I could not tell who won that race from the chopper camera. Maybe this angle will tell us exactly who won across the line because, I'm speechless. Oh my goodness, it's literally so close to call. I literally can't even tell who won that one. I believe it was Tyler Reddick from that angle, but I don't know. It was just way too close to call, and we're gonna do something that they should have done at Daytona in the duels. Oh my, that shot looks like to me is Michael McDowell. It's you can't even tell who's up front. Like, one camera it shows Reddick, and then the other camera it shows McDowell out front. Race officials are still looking at this finish right now. As, to be honest, I don't even know who won at this point. As we're gonna take a look at this replay here. Oh man, look how close it is to the line. It looks like Tyler Reddick from that shot. Wait a minute. Oh my word! Oh my gosh! Tyler Reddick and Michael McDowell literally tied across the start-finish line. Oh my goodness. I've never seen anything like this before. They literally just tied across the start-finish line. Oh my goodness, have you ever? And I'm pretty sure somebody in the back row is saying, no, I have never. Oh my god, what a finish. Literally my first day on the job, and we already got a tie here at Michigan International Speedway. Oh my goodness. Folks, as we sort out who wins here in the end, we're going to take a quick commercial break as I try to catch my breath. But a literal tie here at Michigan International Speedway. We'll be right back for a commercial break and see who wins here in the end. Oh my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in NASCAR Fastenal Cup Series history, we literally have a tie here at Michigan International Raceway. The 45 of Tyler Reddick and the 34 of Michael McDowell literally tied at 0.000 across the line. I have never seen anything like this before, and this is literally my first ever gig in the booth here, and we literally got a tie here at Michigan. I'm at a loss for words. I have never seen anything like this before, and I don't think this has ever happened in an NR 2003 offline series. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to split the trophy in half for that Michael McDowell and Tyler Reddick gets the trophy. I don't know. But I think I'm being told is that they're going to review the race stats from both drivers, and they're going to determine the winner by the driver who left the most laps between the 45 and the 34. So it's going to take a minute before we actually figure out who actually wins here. But as we ride along with Tyler Reddick, you see the 34 obviously side by side with him, and I'm still speechless. Like, I have never seen anything like this before, and I don't think anybody else has. And this is surely history in the making. Like, I have never seen anything like this before, and I don't think anybody else has in NR 2003. Now we're going to ride along with, I believe this is Denny Hamlin in the 11, as he was actually closing in on this thing to actually get himself the win. Like, he was closing in, trying to steal it away from the 45 and the 34. But he missed it by half a car length, and I'm pretty sure Denny Hamlin's going to make the same face like what he did at Phoenix IOL after this loss. But man, if Talladega couldn't get any more closer, this literally takes the cake here, as literally 0.000 is the difference between the 45 and the 34. That is absolutely crazy. That is insane to think about. And, I think I'm being told by race officials, we have a winner. And the winner is going to be the 45 of Tyler Reddick, who's going to get the dub here at the FireKeepers Casino 400. Apparently, Tyler Reddick has led more laps than Michael McDowell in the 34. And Tyler Reddick is going to get the victory here at Michigan in a little tiebreaker. And that's insane to think about. Tyler Reddick wins here in a tiebreaker here at Michigan International Speedway. And Michael McDowell is going to come home in second. And Denny Hamlin is going to round up the top three. As we take a look at the rest of the results, Bubba Wallace, a much-needed day for him, especially being 31st in points. And Kyle Busch rounds home in 5th. Martin Truex Jr., the championship leader, comes home in the 6th place position, and I believe he's going to maintain it because he finished well ahead of Brad Keselowski, and Kyle Busch is roughly around 9 points below Martin Truex Jr., so I believe Busch is going to go up to 2nd, and Martin Truex Jr. is going to maintain the points lead. Joey Logano's going to jump back up in points a little bit. Justin Allgaier with another top 10 finish, so he's going to jump up in points just a little bit. It's going to be a great points pay race for him, including the 5 of Kyle Larson and the 54 of Ty Gibbs. That's definitely something that both of those guys definitely needed, especially with them being below the top 10 in points. And for Chase Elliott, William Byron, Todd Gilliland, and Ross Chastain, all 4 of them with much-needed days, especially after a bad day at Talladega for all of them, including the 91 of Shane Van Gisbergen and Austin Dillon. And Alex Bowman ends up leading the lap, so he does get an extra point here. However, though, Chris Buescher so far is not having a great second half of the season so far, as he is collapsing right now in points. Harrison Burton once again comes home in 19th, and Ryan Blaney rounds up the top 20, so not a great day for Ryan Blaney either, including the 17 of Chris Buescher. Speaking of Brad Keselowski, he once again finishes outside the top 10, and he finished home in 23rd. That's going to drop him in points, and I believe Kyle Busch is going to beat him in points, and I think he's going to fall to either 3rd or 4th. Ryan Preece as well as 24th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was just non-existent today despite the first half that he had, and the second half is not really going too well for the 47, including the 77 of Carson Hoceval, a Busch Light Clash winner. And Christopher Bell, not a great day for him. He's the last car to finish on the lead lap, and Justin Haley, it just can't get any worse for the 7 of Justin Haley, who is having a major collapse after being second in the points at the Daytona. And Justin Haley, once again, is going to drop further back in points. That's not what Justin Haley definitely needed. And as we see rounding up the field, Ryan Truex, who was caught up in that lap 37 incident, finishes home in the 31st position, as well as the 43 of Eric Jones. Noah Gratza was just not existent today, as well as the 51 of Cody Ware. Anthony Alfredo, Grant Enfinger also caught up in the lap 37 incident. It's been a bad day for Grant Enfinger. Caught up in 2 accidents. That car was pretty much already beaten up. I'm surprised that they kept that car at a minimum speed. And the 2 cars that DNF from today, surprisingly, I thought there was going to be more. Chase Briscoe, who blew an engine on lap 38 under caution during a commercial break. And that is not what the 14 of Chase Briscoe needed, especially being in the top 15 in points. And Daniel Hemrick, who a couple of weeks ago won the Yellowwood 500 in a photo finish, to then flipping over on lap 4 here in the FireKeepers Casino 400. Up to down for Daniel Hemrick, and that is not what he needed, especially after just joining in the top 20 in points. So unfortunately, he's going to fall back once again, and it's just it's exactly like what we saw with Shane Van Gisbergen when he won at Sonoma, crashed out on lap 1 on Pocono Raceway the race after. So I guess drivers who are below the top 20 ends up winning a race, ends up being cursed the race afterwards because they get red out early on. So I guess that's something that the top 20 drivers that's below should be on the lookout for. So, actually a relatively clean race. I mean, only 2 DNFs from this race, and I would have expected a whole lot more because knowing that the standards that we've been having in these previous couple of races, how brutal these accidents are. It was kind of relatively clean on our standards, so kudos to everybody here for keeping it clean for most of the half, except for the 14 and the 31. But relatively clean race here in Michigan, but it was definitely an exciting one for sure, especially about what happened there at the end. A freaking tie here in Michigan? Oh my word. I still can't even baffle from that. And now as we review the points, Martin Truex Jr. continues to be our points leader now, but Kyle Busch is now 6 points behind our point leader, Martin Truex Jr. So it's still a relatively close battle in the championship hunt. But now we got Joey Logano now up to 3rd, 16 points behind. And Brad Keselowski, who was 2nd, drops down to 4th after not having a great day. Now he's 18 points behind our championship leader, Martin Truex Jr. And the guys below, and from 5th to 9th, they do have a launch shot, though. They are alive, but they do have a relatively launch shot. But I would say that the guys that is above the top 16 does have a pretty good chance as well, because they were separated by 60 points. So I wouldn't say it's a huge margin, but there is a comfortable gap that you can at least regain all those points at. But I think, to me, personally, is that those drivers either need to win out, or the drivers in the top 4 needs to collapse within these next couple of races, and maybe they'll have a relatively good chance of still being into this championship hunt. Now, however, though, if you see on the bottom of your screen, John Hunter Nemechek, even though Grant Enfinger was the one in charge of the 42, he only took over for John Hunter Nemechek because of injury. So the points afflicted over to John Hunter Nemechek, and as you can see, there's a big difference. 169 points behind our championship leader, Martin Truex Jr. He is realistically eliminated, but not mathematically eliminated, because he's actually, surprisingly enough, he still has an opportunity to at least get back up to the front, because with 7 races remaining, the max remaining points that he could receive is 280. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm a professional mathematician, but that's actually pretty good. Yeah. And honestly, that's saying something because realistically, he will definitely be eliminated a couple of races ago. But if John Nemechek still has an opportunity, we'll just see how he does here in these next couple of races. Okay, and what now? We looked at the results. We looked at the point standings. Review the next race and locate the track that's going to be at. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Richmond Raceway. It will be for race 9 of the Fastenal Cup Series. It's the Federated Auto Parts 400 at Richmond Raceway. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just all new to this commentary thing because I'm not used to it. But yeah, I didn't plan for this. But Tim Jimmins just had to have too many unsportsmanlike content penalties, and I had to take over for the booth. So don't worry, I'm gonna get used to this. I'll be able to learn pretty much everything when we get further on into the series. So, but I still hope you guys enjoy the race because that was an incredible race from what we saw from start to finish, especially that tie at the end. I guess congratulations to both because they both technically won, but they're going to be giving the win to Tyler Reddick. I would say just split the trophy and hand it to both of them, but yeah, it's whatever they want to do. So, yeah, thank you guys for tuning in for the FireKeepers Casino 400. And I hope you guys are ready for Richmond Raceway for the Federated Auto Parts 400 in these next couple of weeks. Not sure exactly when it's going to take place, but just be on the lookout for that in case if a date gets revealed. But until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and see you guys at Richmond Raceway. Yeah.
Yo, Sam, did you see that finish? Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen a tie like that before. Have you ever?
No, Tim, you shouldn't be in here. Go back outside and go back to timeout, please.
Aww.
But no, I've never.